Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Lazy Couch Thoughts. Today, obviously, we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. To kind of start off, the game kind of sucked. Yeah, the game sucked. It wasn't a very fun Super Bowl. I'm starting to think that we won't have another fun Super Bowl again for a while, because this is the third one in a row that just kind of wasn't fun. But anyways, we can talk about it. Obviously, the big storyline here, Tom Brady wins his 7th Super Bowl ring. He now has more rings than any franchise in football. The New England Patriots have 6 Super Bowls. Tom Brady has 7. Yeah, that's nuts. Kind of just talking about the game for a second. Let's talk about the Chiefs first, just because kind of knocked them out of the way. First off, people who talk bad about Patrick Mahomes after that game, by looking at the stats, they'll be telling themselves saying that they didn't actually watch the game. Kids 20 years from now, whenever people are debating the GOAT, they're going to use this game against Patrick Mahomes because they're going to be looking at the stats. The stats don't show how good Mahomes really played. The Bucs were in the backfield, I don't know, on his second step of his drop back every time there was a free rusher. And then there was probably about 5 balls that hit a receiver directly in the face mask that they didn't catch. I don't know. A couple of them in the end zone. There's a bunch of drop passes, and if those passes are caught in the end zone, it's a different game. Mahomes played a great game, all things considered. He was missing both of his offensive tackles, and he was also missing the offensive lineman from, as you may know, the guy who's the doctor who opted out of the season to work on the front lines of COVID. Dude, mad respect for you. You're awesome. But nevertheless, Mahomes was missing his protection in that game, and it showed because the Buccaneers have a great defensive front. I've said this for a little while now. They're probably the best defensive front in football, and that's definitely showing because they had the number 1 rush defense this last 2 years. You have guys like Shaq Barrett, JPP, and then you have the best linebacking duo in football with Levante David and Devin White, who Devin White probably should have won MVP, but we'll get back to that. But Mahomes made probably the craziest throws I've ever seen. Like the one when he was getting spun around. I think it was by Shaq Barrett. And he just kind of like slung it like that, and it went to the back left corner of the end zone, and the guy almost made a diving catch. And then, or the one whenever he was completely parallel with the ground, throwing it like the if you're a Red Sox fan, you may notice the Dustin Pedroia screenshots. Whenever he's basically submarine throwing it when he's parallel to the ground, his hand's about to hit the ground, like when he's throwing it. He almost completed that for a touchdown on the 4th down play. Yeah, Mahomes was insane. But let's get back to the winners for a second. Just, if you're going to try and disrespect Mahomes today, don't. I think it's safe to say Tom Brady's the GOAT. Yeah, probably safe to say. The Bucs were impressive. They look like a completely different team down the stretch. They played their best football in January and February. And to win a Super Bowl, you have to do that. And I still don't think they're the best team in the NFL. I think that's fair to say. I don't think they're the most talented team in the NFL. They definitely are the best coach in the NFL. Yikes. But unless you count Tom Brady as the coach. But I mean, they showed up. They played their best ball. Their defense was just remarkable the entire postseason. The way that they played against the Saints and recovered against the Saints, like in the first game against the Saints had the ball in their, like in the Buccaneers territory to start off the drive twice. They only got 3 points out of it. Yeah. Like the Bucs defense showed out this postseason, and they show what they're capable of. And then you add in the extra guys, the guys that they added this season coming in with Tom. You also brought in Gronk. You also brought in Fournette. You also brought in Antonio Brown. You also brought in a first-round tackle who's really good. He helps shore up the offensive line. You also bring in Winfield, who's all of a sudden your starting safety. All of a sudden, all these holes that you once had get plugged in. And then you add in Tom Brady, and then all of a sudden you're Super Bowl contender. And that's what happened. They ran with the opportunity. I don't want to say they got lucky because anybody winning a championship has to have a little bit of luck involved. Like being 100% honest, anybody that wins a championship usually has a little bit of luck involved. They have to get the ball to bounce their way, because the ball doesn't bounce their way, it bounces the other team's way, so it's kind of hard to win like that. But yeah, they showed out. They took advantage of the Chiefs' injuries, and they were in the backfield all night. They just kind of handled business. They had a great defensive plan to stop Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Play too high all night. Said, Mahomes, if you want to score, you're gonna have to go on some long drives there, buddy. You're gonna have to drive down the field and go 80 yards and 15 plays and dump it off the whole time. And we don't think you're gonna be patient enough to do that. We don't think you're gonna be able to do that. Sure enough, they weren't. I don't know how many teams in the NFL can actually do that strategy against them. You have to be super, super, super patient, and you probably have to have a guy like Tom Brady on the other side, like putting up points to like help you feel better about it. But yeah, they showed up. They showed out. They had a great plan defensively. Todd Bowles is a great defensive coordinator. That's fair to say. Brian Leftwich is a great offensive coordinator. I think that's fair to say. And Gronk, also another guy I think could have won MVP. 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looked like Gronk. Fournette, playoff Lenny, had like 120 total yards, and I think he had 1 touchdown. Yeah, playoff Lenny showed up. Super Bowl Lenny. But anyways, congrats to the Bucs. I didn't like that. I'm not going to say that again. But I'll say congrats to the individual LSU players. Like, congrats Devin White, congrats Kevin Minter, congrats Leonard Fournette. That makes me feel better. Every time I see like a Devin White like thing talking about like I'm a champion, I'm like, yes, Devin. Then like, oh, the Bucs, yuck. And in case y'all didn't, I'm a Saints fan. Yeah, so this one hurt a little bit more. Watching this game the entire time, I'm like, what could have been if Jared Cook didn't fumble? But anyways, I'm probably going to do a little bit more in-depth breakdown. I didn't want this video to be 30 minutes long. I'm going to do a super in-depth breakdown on the podcast this week, Couch Fanatic Sports Podcast. Go check that out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. And that's definitely going to be more of the X's and O's argument. This is going to be a lot longer. And this is just kind of hitting on the key points. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the game. Comment below like what your favorite part of the game is. If it was, the halftime show, the commercials, whatever. Whatever your favorite part of the game was. Mine was probably the halftime show, because I just kind of like sat there, like scrolled through Twitter the entire time, like halftime show in game, and just kind of vibe to some music. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the big game. I hope whoever you're cheering for won. Bucs fans probably had the time of their life whenever they were up big at halftime, jamming to the weekend, and about to go win a first Super Bowl since 2002. So that must have been cool. The videos coming out of Tampa show that they're pretty excited, to say the least. But anyways, congrats to Tampa, congrats to Tom Brady, and thank you guys for watching. See you guys on Wednesday. Peace.